And we are recording.
Well, aloha, hariom, namaste, hotek in Lakesh, asama luego, aho mitakuyasin, hallelujah, praise Jah, Yeshua, Yahweh, Ganesha, because Jah knows I and I and I. And today I want to introduce you to a very special person. His name is Seth, and we're here in Pisac, Peru, and he is comes from like Colorado, United States, California, Oregon, some other places. But you all know about me, so let's just get to Seth. Tell us about all about you. Where you born?
California, like Northern California. Moved up to Wine County, Sonoma, a little tourist town when I was like 4. Actually, kind of influential in the sense that like it started off a small, quaint town, and then by the time I left, it was that locals could really afford. It was, suddenly. Um, but that's where I grew up, and then eventually left because I went back recently, and it's not affordable in the least. There's not really any young people left there at all.
Right, California got a little weird. I used to love Mount Shasta, but yeah, it's getting very expensive to live there. The reason I wanted to interview Seth is he has, and as well as a lot of people know me, I can see different spirits and auras and chakras around people. They're Merkabas. And there's something really special about Seth. And I want you to explain what your upcoming missions um, are about.
So I would say I generally have like always way too many projects going on at a time. But in terms of like where I'm going to be next, I'm going to Nepal. Currently, I'm going to do like a 200-hour yogi course. So it's not really about teaching yoga. It's more that I've heard it's just get your body back. It's a lot cheaper than going to the hospital in 20 years or 10 years or whenever something breaks. I can just spend 1 month eating vegan food, uh, stretching all day for less than the price of an average month of rent in the US, and then come out of it like able to go many years without having to worry about breaking things quite so much.
Are you vegan now?
No, I try to only eat chicken if I'm going to eat meat, and that's about it.
Well, there aren't many people that I run across the world, and I've been all around the world where I can see their spirit, their soul, their energy. And I looked into Seth's eyes one day and I said, wow, this guy has something. And, yoga is a practice, meditation is a mastery, but I think he's going to go really far in places. I just want to know more about Seth. Like, where did you go to school at?
Started off at Chico, CSU Chico, which was a bad idea. It was unfortunate. I had really, really good grades, but I failed to recognize that I was supposed to take, I think, 3 SAT 2 tests in order to get into UC colleges.
Hmm.
The two I took, computers, no, AP Physics and Calculus, I did really well on. Um, but I was supposed to take 3 in order to get into a nice college. So I ended up going to the one nearby that my friend was going to, and it was just like the dumbest people ever. And frankly, I was kind of doing pretty well, and then I hit that, and I was like, it tanked me. Uh, Ended up going to rehab for a while. It's called. It's the junior college near Santa Cruz.
Okay.
Because like I wanted to go to UC Santa Cruz. I was like, I should have gone here in the first place. And they're like, you don't have the grades anymore because I spent a year giving up on life. And so, go to the junior college and then maybe you'll be able to here. Started minoring in jazz piano, got into jazz, and then went up north to Portland State University and made it most of the way through computer science degree. But somewhere around my fourth year in discrete mathematics 3, I like walked into the class and I was on this catnap schedule where I would sleep from 5 a.m. to, what was it, 9 a.m. and then I'd sleep from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. So I'd get up, go to the 24-hour cafe, program all night long until 5 in the morning, sleep until it was time to get up to go to classes, go to classes. And in this class, I was like, okay, I did discrete mathematics 1 and 2. Fine, whatever. It seemed kind of pointless to me. We're in discrete mathematics 3. I was like, what can I do with this? And they're like, well, you could prove that it's impossible to prove that there's a virus in a system. And I was like, I'm done. I couldn't do anymore. I was expensive. Like, college is so expensive. And all of my teachers were like, back in my day, we did this with C. And it was like, that's really cool. That's not what we're doing anymore. Like, I love that they were cool once, or I mean, they're still cool, but I love that they were like really on it once back in the day. But like, programming moves super fast, and learning from people that haven't done it professionally for years, while it's eating into the time that I would spend all night programming, was just like, this is dumb. So yeah.
And that's what I noticed about you that I can relate to myself. I dropped out of high school at 15 years old, and I immediately went to college. And I never finished college. I ended up getting Microsoft degrees and Cisco degrees. And by the time I was 18, I was the network administrator at Charles Schwab. And I moved up to Symantec, IBM, Disney World, and then to NASA. And but I had some different life changes. My wife had died, and I got addicted to drugs and alcohol. But I'm wondering, because I saw you working on Fedora Linux the other day, and I can see like your technology background. But what happened that inspires you to now go to Nepal to learn yoga and change your life? Was there something particular like
Oh
that
yeah.
happened?
I mean, it just came up multiple times when I was traveling around uh, Thailand in particular. I'd meet people who went and did a yoga thing. Um, there's multiple different people I knew who did it, and they're like, "Oh, it's lovely. You should definitely do it." There was one person in particular who I was hanging out with on my birthday last year, and she was like, "You need to go do a Vipassana retreat." Because I was talking about just I've always been someone who observes my own mind, and also go do the yoga thing, and like you'll have a fresh brain, fresh body. Which I did the Vipassana, and it's true, it's a fresh brain. Uh, and now I want to do the yoga and fresh body.
That's beautiful. And I just want to say our YouTube channel is Faces of Unity, where we are interviewing real, authentic people. And I want to be authentic with a little bit of humility. I talk a lot. I could never make it through Vipassana. You have to be quiet and not say anything for 10 days. I think I've only gone maybe 2.5 days where I'm like, I can't do this. So I'm really proud of you, and I see the spirit in you. And I appreciate like your change from moving from that like 9 to 5 technology world. You're using your talent. You're learning yoga, you're going to learn meditation and different practices to help the world. And that's what really inspires me is like, I just, for me, I had different life changes that happen in my world. And that's why I'm trying to get it out of you. If like there was a, was it a car accident? Was it a breakup with a girlfriend or?
Technically both, yeah. uh, I mean, I should say that like there was a period the last couple of years before I left the U.S. Um, where I was working strange jobs. One of them was a snowmaker, where I went to a ski resort at 10 p.m. and then worked until 10 a.m. and
Cool.
we made snow, which we think is not that hard, but it turns out that like it's uh, the water needs to be a certain amount of diffused changes, or the humidity changes, or the temperature changes, then it changes. And if the snow can move little these actually quite large blasters around. It was a crazy job. That was one of the weirdest jobs I've had. And then after that, I was running a makerspace in a library. So that was really nice because I got to just help people to make something that's like, yeah, I can do that. I can help you with that. Um, they wanted to fix something. They wanted to whatever. I kind of was just like the resident tech guy, kind of. And it was like in a retirement town. Fun job.
Well, it's such a beautiful story because, I used to make a lot in the tech industry. At one point, I had 5 houses, but I'm more happy now living at this international hostel in Pisac, Peru, meeting people like yourself that are making a change in their life. And I want to help other people in the world, come to that real. Sometimes people have an experience that, can automatically get them there. But sometimes, I can see it in you. Like I can see your technology background, but I can see that now your life is devoted to more of a medit. And my life's purpose is bringing world peace. And so it's an honor to have you today and interview you at this moment, at this very minute, because I believe in you. I can see the change happening, and I really hope you know, maybe in this short moment, it awakens one person that says, you know, maybe I can go from a rainbow gathering or Burning Man and I can make a change too and, become a different person because we all can have that choice to make a change.
Yeah, I mean it's incremental and it's not always forward every day. But yeah, I think one of the biggest things to know in that regard is that first of all, everyone is a fuck up. I don't, am I allowed to cuss?
Yeah, you are.
Okay,
And
yeah.
on this channel, we're allowed to talk about anything, actually.
Everyone. Like the most talented people I know are fuck ups at some major part of their life. Maybe it's like relationships or money or something. Everyone I know. I know people who are amazing, just amazing people. And there's always at least one aspect that's totally mission critical to having a successful life, and they're a total fuck up at it, myself included. Um, I think that's one of the first things is to know that like if you think that there's someone who's perfect, you're looking at social media. You're not looking at anyone you actually know. And or if they are someone you know, they're a sociopath and they're really good at lying, or you're gullible. These are like the options. There's no one really that perfect that I've met. I've met a lot of really cool people. That's the first thing is like set a reasonable standard. And the second is that it's not about getting there all at once. It's just about doing a little bit better sometimes and then celebrating that.
Right.
Um, and it's not actually a complicated algorithm by any means. It's just time consuming. That's like there's no
Yeah.
shortcut on it. It's
I,
not actually that hard.
I love what you just shared because most of the people that are watching this channel know me on my dark side when I was the biggest fuck up. I was a DJ for 25 years. I did every kind of drug. People have to drag me off the street. I mean, I have so many stories, but at some point in my life, I realized I can make that change and set an example. And I can see that in you. And it doesn't matter how bad of a fuck up you were. Something I learned in Hawaii is a Hawaiian prayer called Ho'oponopono, which is something that you say to your, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you, Ho'oponoponoponopono. And you say that to yourself. What I'll do is I'll start and I'll do that
Yeah,
through
perfect.
each one. And you're saying that to yourself. And I think that the importance is you might be a fuck up in your life. You may have done some terrible drugs or terrible things in your life. I could go into crazy stories. And if you subscribe to this YouTube channel, you'll hear these stories. Um, but the thing is, forgive yourself and love yourself, thank yourself, and know that you are okay and that you can change yourself. I really appreciate you, Seph, because I can see it in you that you're going to make a difference, and that's why I really wanted to interview you today. And I appreciate your time and effort.
I mean, keep going if you want, or if you want to call it there, it's also.
Well, I mean, we can keep going. I mean, so you're going to Nepal to be a yoga instructor.
No, just to do the yoga training. It's
Yoga
literally just
training.
like a health checkup. It's I'm going to the oil change, you know, for the body. I'm re-lubricating my joints. Um,
Cool.
it's just like it's maintenance, which might have amazing stories. Who knows? But the intent is absolutely not to have anything more than what I can more or less guarantee, which is that I'll stretch a bunch.
Well, I have a little secret I'm never supposed to share, but I'm going to share it now. I'm a certified wellness way of life coach, and I believe in this man so much that I'm training him as well because I can see his spirit, I can see his soul, I can see it through his eyes, and he has that ability to reach other people. And I just wanted people to, I wanted to share the awareness of this person today. That's what we're about, Faces of Unity. And today, if we can get 300 subscribers, we will fly this man to Nepal. And I have people out there that'll come pick him up and really special people. But that's the real important thing because clicking view is one thing, clicking subscribe is free, doesn't cost you a thing, but it really helps us out. So click that subscribe button, and we'll help him out because I really think this is an important man.
Vaguely there, where those two fingers intersect. That's roughly where the subscribe button should be. I think, depending on how this is edited.
Yeah, we're just getting started, but this is our first week on Faces of Unity YouTube channel, and it's unbelievable the amount of requests from musicians, gurus, artists, people, sustainable builders, people from all around the world that want to talk and uh, your story, how you grew up. Did you go to public school or private school, like
Public podunk school.
Podunk?
Actually, it was a pretty nice school for the size of it.
Cool.
I was the only one that listened to electronic music.
What kind
One
of
that felt
electronic music? What's your
oh,
favorite
dude. I
genre?
mean, obviously, all right, so actually, I got a great story about this, but like the one that like I think, yeah, like the pop the cherry moment was Darude Sandstorm. And then I had Napster, so I fucking amazing.
Yeah.
So cool. So cool to be able to just like explore the entire world of music as a kid and like not in any sort of algorithmic sense beyond like it has this many people who are sharing it right now. Oh, dude, what an era.
It's just so cool about, this channel Faces of Unity. You've got dreadlocks, and there are some people in the world that they look at you different, and they judge you, and they have a perception.
Wonderful, actually. In the US, it's like an automatic filter where people who are too far right look at me and they're like, hippie. And people who are too
Right.
far left look at me and they're like, oh, racist. And it's like, okay, like I got a job working for AmeriCorps cutting down invasive trees and like didn't bring a brush. And I had like this long wavy hair and then it came out in dreads. And I was like, well, okay.
Yeah.
And that's how I stole my hairstyle from Rastafarians was that I worked in the woods without a brush. Like for people to be like your race, it's like amazingly quick how much people who are way too into one pocket or the other will look at me and assume that like we'll just never get along. Um, which everyone.
Yeah, it's crazy the perception of the world. I was booked at some of the biggest music festivals because I had DJ'd for 25 years. And there was one festival in particular where somebody took my back. I showed up in a dirty white t-shirt and jeans. Not only did they not want to let me in the festival, but everybody judged me. And then they found out on the third day that, how do we change? How do we remove hate, racism, perception in the world? And that's what Faces of Unity and our upcoming reality show that we're starting in 4 months is all about. Other countries here, you know, um, people have this perception and this what they think in their mind, and they believe that, and somehow we're in that or watching YouTube, people are watching TV. Um, what we're doing is we're spreading the awareness and knowledge to remove that, because it's not about the clothes you wear, it's about the spirit you have within you. And
They're all choices that we make, right?
right,
And I don't I don't personally think that racism and hatred are ever going to go anywhere because like they're just fuck ups of the fast thinking. Like it's just your brain. Okay, everything in the entire world, if you look at it, you more or less know what it is. An apple is an apple, a tree is a tree, a dog is a dog. Almost every single thing you like, our brain is completely designed to look at something and go, I know what that is, and then have like an idea. And then racism is the thing where it turns out that humans are not like trees. You're not like trees and rocks and waterfalls and paths and skies and sun and literally everything in all of nature where you look at it and it basically is what it looks like. Humans are the one exception. And yeah, it turns out that the whole framework on which our brains was built, our brains were built, uh, didn't account for that except for the much more forward part, but that's kind of late to the game every single time. So there's always going to be, I think, that, and it's just it's like any other problem in life that isn't going away anytime soon. We just gotta acknowledge it and work with it. Like
right, right.
it's not going anywhere, but it's also not that much of a problem, which you can tell by the fact that people have had wonderful times with people of other races in many contexts. So apparently it's totally solvable as far as getting in the way and making everything shitty goes. It doesn't have to do that, but it's not going to go away. Is my take on it.
Well, now here's one more topic that I want to like conclude with. This is what the producers want because most of our social media audience love to hear funny stories. Tell me a funny story that you've seen out there in the world that's just like mind blowing that
Oh, I've seen so much funny shit, Burns. I've seen so much funny shit. I miss Burning Man community so much. Ah, they got eaten alive a little bit. At least all the ones I was part of. Um,
yeah.
but one of God, to me, one of the funniest things I've ever seen was at it was at a burn called Mischievousness, and one of the rules was playful mischief. Running out of sorry. It was called Mischievousness. One of the rules was playful mischief, and there's all on, but um, my favorite. You know what whippets are, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Wah, wah,
very
wah, wah, wah,
popular
wah, wah,
in
wah, wah.
Texas. I've never in Texas burns. I've never seen a cigarette. It's pretty funny, but there was one one person's like random little art piece. They just set it up in the middle of an area, and it was a big refrigerator box, and it had a sign on the front, and it said, "Enter whippet here." You go up, and you put a whippet in the hole, and you wait for a second. You hear like, and they just throw the empty whippet out. That's the whole thing the machine does. It just takes a whippet, they inhale it and throw it out. It's just a person sitting in a box doing free whippets. I don't know, man. Like that stupid ass stuff,
Yeah,
dude.
Burning Man's a whole different entity. You know, I used to be really heavily involved. I remember I played for 17 hours at Center Camp, and I put 2 ounces of cocaine on my vinyl turntables. And as they're spinning, I'm doing the cocaine. And at like hour 16, I think I fell onto the tables. And if you look at our YouTube channel, one of the co-founders of we just did an interview with him, and it's really funny. We go into stories about these festivals, and you know, I've matured a lot since then. um you know, I still do San Pedro ayahuasca or the wachuma changa DMT, but I do it in a very ceremonial way. And that was the big change for me. um and I actually stopped DJing. I retired because I saw where it was going, and you know, that kind of drug.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different scenes going on there all at the same time. Um, yeah, but yeah, I've seen plenty of drug things gone bad.
Yeah,
I've never Weed was the only one that ever really got me. Any so,
I think the most important thing that Mitchell and I talked about is some of these bigger festivals like Ultra Music Festival, EDC, Electric Forest.
oh,
They need
that's a festival. That's not Burning Man.
well, they need to include things like dance safe and calm and harm reduction.
Yeah,
Um,
Bendo and types of things.
because a lot of these bigger festivals, if they see you messed up, they just put you on a back stretcher and they shoot you up with Haldol and they take you out of the festival. But these transformative festivals now have, and I volunteer a lot, where people are like, you know, they've taken a lot of psychedelics, and I sit with them with my teddy bears and I calm them down. And that's really important to have. And I hope the bigger festivals can get to that. that awareness that's really important. They
They're
are.
money centric. If they were going to get there, they
State it's in. Trust me, I've been part of all of them.
come on. Like they make money. They're making lots of money. If they were doing it for the good of people, it would with that. Almost never does anyone change their tune past the point of making lots of money.
So, what is your intention after completing the 200-hour yoga training in Nepal? What do you think? Where do you think you'll go from there?
Next step is I'm going to go to Pi and start a hostel slash permaculture.
Nice.
Hopefully, chain is the idea. I'm going to focus on showing people how cheap and comfortable life can be. Not just because of Pi, but using lots of things I've learned from working in construction and working at festivals and working in maker spaces and watching way too much YouTube on like home stuff, on like, homesteading and whatever. Essentially, I've gone through and like doing permaculture work away and whatever. I've gone through and found that it is actually 100% totally possible for people to live very comfortable, happy lives
Oh,
for
absolutely.
not a lot of money, barring, of course, predatory taxes and things of that nature, which make it impossible in certain countries because it's like the mafia, right?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
All the monetization that I make from these videos, the upcoming reality show, and my book is actually going back to the community. I can live like this in, a cob house made out of mud for the rest of my life. Of course, that most of my money I'm dedicating to building sustainable communities throughout the world, so people can have that opportunity stuck in that 9 to 5 job, or they just don't know what it's like to live off grid and or and community, because I've been closer with community than I have with my own family, and that's what my life is devoted for, is world peace and building communities. But it's been such an honor to have you here today. Um, in Hawaiian, we'd say mahalo, which is like thank you. And but I want people out there to support you. Do you have anything like a website or anything you're working on, an email address that you
a
can
really
give?
good website, and then the host got a little greedy, and I was like, oh, I'll find a new host some other day. Um, yeah, window real quick. And then if you are someone who feels like they have time and energy and are willing to do some work to make something better, I will have progress. I have a thing that I've outlined on how to more or less proof, a good place to put it, and volunteers will be adding value to the real estate, more or less, that is backed by that money, or that money backs. I don't know which way, and it doesn't matter. This is my, oh, it's going to be backwards because it's mirrored. It's Seph Reed, Setphreed.
Cool.
Go ahead and message me.
We'll put that in the description of this video as well. It's just been an honor to have you. When I first saw you, I could see it in your aura that you're going to be a very successful person, and I wanted people to know. And
It's impossible. I tried. I gave up on giving up.
Yeah.
You can't do it.
But
Less than a minute. Okay.
thank you for your time. Thank you for your energy. Thank you for your determination, your drivenness to rise above the 3D and up to the 5D, knowing that you are the know how, that you are God, Goddess, the absolute, the infinity of your youth, that you can make a decision, you can make a change, and you are the change. And thank you for the time today. It's been an ultimate honor to feel
Cheers.
mahalo.